When people think of the second Bulls three-peat, they picture the iconic last shot by Michael Jordan against the Jazz. But very few ever talk about the war in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, leaving the unsung hero forgotten. Thing is, if it wasn't for Toni Kukoc, the Bulls would never get past Indiana, and one of these legends would have a championship ring on their finger. So let's rewind the tape of the Croatian Sensation. You know the stories of the '92 Olympics, where Jordan and Pippen gave their soon-to-be teammate a hard time.
I'm looking at Michael and Scotty, and they're ready for, blood. Man.
We were not playing against Toni Kukoc. We were playing against Jerry Krouse in a Croatian uniform.
All the praise Toni got from Chicago's GM, Jerry Krouse, got MJ and Pip mad, and their message was clear. The skinny boy doesn't belong in the NBA. He finished the first game in the group stage on a horrific 2 for 11 shooting along with 7 turnovers. It was a disaster.
Stolen by Jordan. He reads it better than anyone. Slam dunk.
Jordan rejecting Kukoc. Here's a 3-on-2. Pippen.
However, Kukoc and the Croatians got up and fought their way through the tournament, reaching the finals, where the Monstars were waiting for a rematch. He redeemed himself and played a solid final game, posting 16 points and 9 assists on 56% from the field. But that was far too little to cause a real problem for the Dream Team, but at least he earned the respect of his peers. Coincidentally, Toni landed in Chicago on the same exact day when Michael Jordan announced his retirement. Fortunately or not, that opened a huge opportunity for Kukoc to get a lot more playing time that he would normally get if MJ was still around. So he bowled out immediately.
Toni got it, put it up, look out, he got it! Is it a three? It's a three, they win! Bulls win! Toni Kukoc, 0.8 seconds, yes!
At 6'11", with court vision and passing skills like a point guard, Kukoc was back then what Nikola Jokic is today. His flashy passes earned him the nickname the Waiter, suggesting that he will serve you the ball on a platter and all you have to do is put it in the rim. Plus, he was as clutch as they get, proving that on the biggest stage in his first playoffs ever.
Myers triggers the inbounds pass. Kukoc for the win! It goes! Oh, brother!
Although the Bulls fell short to the Knicks in 7, Toni had earned the trust of Phil Jackson, so he inserted him in the starting lineup at the start of the next season, and Kukoc didn't disappoint. He was Chicago's second best player behind Scotty in the main statistical categories, with 16 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game all the way till March 19 of 1995, when his airness came back.
It came in a 2-word statement which is now just begging to have a Nike campaign built around it, quote unquote, "I'm back."
The combo of Michael, Scotty, and Toni was extremely fun to watch. In the first round of the '95 playoffs, they beat the Hornets in 4 games, setting up a meeting with the best team in the East, the Orlando Magic, led by Shaq and Penny.
Pick and roll, Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal over Michael.
My goodness.
That's another 3 for Anthony Hardaway, and he has...
Let me soften him up a little bit.
Speaking of soften him up, that stanchion will be with the call.
The Bulls went packing after 6 games, mostly for lacking a big body and a defensive presence under the basket. So in the summer of '95, the front office brought Dennis Rodman, completing the core of the second three-peat. The world saw the first NBA team ever to win 70-plus games in the following season, leading to back-to-back titles in '96 and '97 as the Bulls were tearing the league apart. The final chapter, however, started clanky, with tensions and disagreements between Jerry Krouse and the team. But despite all of that, Chicago still finished as the #1 seed in the East and blew the Nets and the Hornets in a dominant fashion in the first 2 rounds. This is how we get to that epic series against the Indiana Pacers, who put the Bulls to the toughest test ever.
Gets it in the middle for the win! 4/10 of a second! One of the greatest clutch playoff performers of his generation. It's Michael. That's the guy to watch. He stumbles and loses it, but he has it. The Pacers and the Bulls will take it to the limit.
Michael stumbles with the ball and the Pacers force a Game 7 in Chicago, where Reggie comes out firing.
Miller for 3. He felt it, caught it, tough turn the opposite way, and it was clean. Miller, contact with Burrell, no call. Reggie fires and hits the 3. to cut this to 2 or maybe 1 if they hit a 3. Reggie for 3 again. Good again.
So in the third quarter of a tight game, Michael gets the screen by Longley and takes the shot, right? Nah, he passes to Kukoc at the last moment, and here's what the commentator had to say about that.
To Kukoc, who's been on fire and stays that way. 21 for Kukoc.
With Jordan and Pippen struggling a lot in this quarter, combining for only 6 points on 2 for 8 from the field, Kukoc took over the game and scored 14 of Chicago's 21 points in the period. Toni was phenomenal as he hit every single one of his 5 attempts, including 3 from long range when no one else could score a bucket. And back then, a 3-pointer was huge, especially in this kind of a playoff deathmatch.
Kukoc feeling it and right. His second consecutive 3.
To be fair, he took advantage of the attention drawn by MJ, who already knew what Kukoc is made of and didn't think twice to pass him the ball. Right here, he sets an off-ball screen for Michael to curl around him in order to get the ball inside, but with Smits helping down low, Toni backpedals to the right wing. Harper finds him and Longley gives a slight bump to his defender, enough for Kukoc to fire and hit this 3. The Pink Panther, as he was also known for, single-handedly kept the Bulls afloat in the third quarter. And when push came to shove in the final 12 minutes, the GOAT woke up and finished the job as usual.
Jordan to the rim. And he'll come to the foul line after an explosion to the basket. Jordan putting the moves on McKee and putting the ball in the basket.
After saving the Bulls versus Indiana, Toni had another brilliant 30-point performance in Game 5 of the Finals against Utah, where he shot a blistering 11 for 13 from the floor.
Kukoc for the tie. He has all but one of Chicago's points. Kukoc has been hot. And he stays that way. Malone on Kukoc, all the way to the hoop. 17 points in this first half. Kukoc. Pippen, who's had a poor shooting night. Out to Kukoc for 3. He hits it! With 5.5 seconds, it's a 1-point game.
Chicago actually had the last shot, and with that, the possibility to celebrate their three-peat in front of their own fans in the United Center. With 0.8 seconds on the game clock, Jackson called a timeout in which John Paxson went to him and told him to give the last shot to Kukoc because he simply couldn't miss in that game. But Phil ultimately made the obvious choice and drew the play for Michael, who got the inbound pass and fired a prayer off of 1 foot, missing the entire basket. After the game, Jackson supposedly admitted to Paxson that he should have given the shot to Toni. Nevertheless, just 2 days later, Jordan gave the basketball world one of the most iconic moments, draining the game winner, capturing his 6th title and completing the second three-peat. But this one with the great help of Toni Kukoc. He didn't forget to thank Michael for busting his ass in the Olympics in his Hall of Fame introduction.
I would like to thank this gentleman here for kicking my butt during the Olympics in Barcelona and then motivating me to work even harder to become an important part of the Chicago Bulls.
The Croatian Sensation will forever be known for his amazing court vision, the laser passes, and the team-first guy he was during his playing days. Many will say he was way ahead of his time, and if he was the lone star on a subpar team, he would average 25 points per game easy. LeBron, on the other hand, wasn't a lone star on a Cavs team with Kyrie and K-Love in 2017, but in Game 3 against the Pacers, they fell into a 25-point hole and James had to dig up his team all by himself. I documented one of the biggest comebacks in playoff history right here in this video, so check it out and talk to you in the next one. Peace out.